the Laughta Likes Show on NBC, your favorite go-to podcast to discover and connect with some of the hottest Arab artists globally. My name is Laughta, and today I have a very likable guest for you. Now, equally as important as the musicians themselves are the music industry execs. And for the first time, I'm the founder of Heavy Arabia Entertainment. Her name is Gigi Arabia. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you, Laughta, so much for having me on the show.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm doing great, and I'm so happy to be here.
Me too. It's great to have you. It's the first time actually speaking to someone from the industry that's on the opposite side of the artist. You guys deal with, how you put events on. So tell us a bit about what you do.
Cool. So do you need a background about myself first? Okay. So I have a background in event organization and production, but I've always been drawn to storytelling. And I feel like events are the perfect platform to do that. Events are the core of what we do at Heavy Arabia, but we also do other stuff like artist management. We host workshops where we invite established musicians, like well-respected musicians in the industry, and have them sit down with our bands and artists and teach them how to do anything from music production to guitar playing, you name it. So that's what we do.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So you're the founder of Heavy Arabia Entertainment.
Correct.
The first ever of its kind here in Saudi Arabia that is promotion for heavy metal.
Correct.
Now, what was the moment you knew this had to exist, this type of company, and what made you feel like you were the one to build it?
That's a good question. So the moment I realized that we needed something like that for Saudi Arabia exclusively is when I knew that the fan base existed. I could see Saudis at European festivals. I could see them in regional shows, like in Dubai, they're very active there. In Bahrain, they're very active. I could see concert goers there from Saudi Arabia. And when I started seeing active bands, but they're not necessarily active in Saudi, they were playing shows abroad, like Creative Waste and other bands as well. And I could see the gap there, and I wanted to fill it. I wanted to offer a platform for our artists, like a serious stage for them to go and play.
Wow.
And also for the fan base to get to experience this locally, and where they don't have to travel to nearby countries or have to cross borders to attend festivals. This is where I really wanted to establish something like Heavy Arabia.
Yeah, that's so interesting, because why should the artists from the region have to go abroad just to get that platform to perform in?
Exactly.
So you notice that gap and we're like, ooh, I'm going to slot in there and start giving these platforms and the promotion. You were a guitar player.
That's correct.
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot here. Were you bad or good? I'm intrigued.
Totally bad. After graduating college, I took a few lessons in Finland with established guitarists, actually. One of them is the current guitarist for Megadeth. His name is Teemu.
Wow.
And so I did that for a while until 2019, and then I'm like, I'm just going to focus on the business side of the music.
But you still have a passion for kind of rock and that genre, it seems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I still listen to everything, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I listen to dark wave. So it's not necessarily the total opposite of rock. Like, I still listen to dark wave, dark pop. But metal is still there.
Yes.
It's in the middle of my heart.
Talking about metal, have you found that there's an appetite for it here? Seeing as everything's still quite new and opening up, what's the response been like?
So there is an appetite. There is an obvious appetite, and people have been showing up since we launched post-pandemic. I actually waited until the pandemic was over, and specifically until the ban on live events was lifted. So I'm like, okay, now it's the perfect time to launch Heavy Arabia. There's been demand. It's growing. It's slow for logistical reasons, but it's real. It's growing, and you can see, especially among young people, they're really craving for that live experience, especially like alternative and rock genres. So people have been showing up.
I'm loving the alternative genres here in Saudi Arabia. It's really opened my eyes up, because the blend of some of the bands here have the blend of Arabic scales trickling throughout, and it's just beautiful for me.
Exactly. I feel like bands are becoming, also artists, like solo artists, are becoming more and more comfortable adding the Arabic elements in their music. Like, I'm sure you're familiar with the band Moja. You saw them at the play at the Metallica documentary. They're very comfortable using Arabic lyrics, using Arabic references, and also you see Sira. Sira is also doing that, and they're even comfortable wearing traditional Arabic music on stage. So I feel like artists are slowly overcoming the insecurities they have. They've always wanted to sound like X musician, X band that is from the West, but now they're saying that their culture is rich enough for them to incorporate some elements into their music.
Absolutely, I'm all for Arabs sticking to our culture, having that throughout the music. It just makes it a lot more dynamic, interesting, and true to us.
It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful culture. Yeah,
beautiful culture, beautiful language, beautiful music.
100%.
Beautiful musical instruments and scales. It takes you into a whole different world.
100%. I 100% agree.
So you put on an event. You had a whole stage at XP. Talk me through
the X2 stage.
Yeah, the X2 stage.
Yeah.
So XP is the festival that happens here yearly, and you were able to get a whole stage feed where you could book your own artists. Is that how it worked?
Yeah. So it was last December was our second year in a row at XP.
Yeah.
But this last showcase was a little bit extra special.
Wow.
Because we had the first European band to play at the showcase. And also had legendary guitarist Kiko Loureiro, who's a very well-respected guitarist in the metal community, come and play and also talk and hold a workshop. So it was a very special edition, and people really loved it. Like, we received really great feedback.
Yes, you had international guests that came in and flocked in.
Yep.
Local, regional, and the feedback was good.
Yeah, and we had also a guitar contest at the same stage.
Yes.
That was power chord. It was really cool.
How do you decide what artists perform on your platforms? Is there, how do you know?
Great. So I do have database.
Oh.
We have a landing page where the community can go and put in their information, even pitch the bands they want to see live. And we have like very clear questions, like which local band do you want to see live? Which international artist do you want to see live? And we have actual figures for like the most requested bands, whether it's a local band or a national band.
Oh.
And it's worth a lot of money, like this database that we have.
Really?
Yeah.
Who built it? Was it you that built it?
Yeah.
Oh,
like Heavy Arabia. Yeah. It's growing. Now we have like about 600 participations on that landing page.
Nice. What do you think makes a wholesome good band?
Okay.
The key.
It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
A wholesome band. Do you mean like from the business side of things, or like what makes an artist, for example, attractive?
Yeah.
So from the perspective of an artist manager, let's say.
Yes.
I like music making machines. I like consistent bands. I like consistent artists. It's anyone can write one song because they were in the mood, but it takes a lot for somebody to really schedule time every day or block time every day to sit down and write music. And to me, when I see a band release a song every few weeks or every few months, to me that's wholesome. It shows me how serious they are about their career.
Absolutely.
And it shows me also how much they really love creating music in general.
True.
Yeah.
For me, even as an artist myself, I respect when I see other artists that are coming out being consistent.
Exactly.
But if you're putting out one song and then I'm hearing you complain maybe that you're not getting anywhere, or you expect some big result after putting one song, it's just, I'm like, no, you don't understand the way the industry works.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's always this expectation.
Yes.
That some bands have and solo artists have, like, I put out a song, now what? Well, now you work on the next one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just keep working on the music. That's what matters.
And I keep reminding artists when they come to me for consultations that it's not just you releasing a song today. I think as the latest information I have from Spotify, I think is it 60,000 songs uploaded every day or something.
Oh, really?
Could be more by now. So you're not the only one putting out music. You're not the only special artist, you know. It's a grind, and you have to do it every day.
See, that's why it's important to have industry execs like yourself come in here, dropping these gems, teaching us things. I didn't know it was 60,000 monthly uploads.
I could be
well.
wrong,
Yeah,
actually.
it's
It could
around.
be
It's
more
a
now.
big number.
Yeah.
Fair play. But yes, that consistency is key, and I second that.
Yeah.
First that. I'm with you on that.
Awesome.
You've been traveling quite a bit. I've seen you at panels at Tallinn Music Week in Estonia, and then recently in Norway, Oslo.
Yeah.
It's fair to say you've been flying, and you've been flying the flag, Saudi's flag, I'd say, repping the culture, repping the musicians here. How important is that for you?
It's honestly, I see it as a cultural exchange, and it is a responsibility for everyone to go and rep their scene in the best light possible.
Excellent. I love that. I love that for you, and I hope to see much more of that. Maybe London. Have you been to London yet? Not yet on a panel.
I haven't participated at any panel in the UK in general.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah.
And we'll have a little tea and crumpets
That
together.
would be amazing. And some cake.
Oh my God, and some cake.
Yes.
I could take you around
That's
for sure.
a must.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you.
You talked about gig swaps. I love the term gig swaps. I was listening to your interviews. I was like, what does she stand for? What's she repping? I know you. I've met you many times. But I love the terms you use. I love the way you think. So what are gig swaps, and how do you really envisage it in real life practice?
Cool. So gig swaps are basically, you know, bands visiting the other countries, visiting the other country basically to perform. And gig swaps are very crucial for artists to grow in general. And the most important thing about it, or how to make it, realistic, is to make sure that it's not a one-off show, but it's more a long-term touring circuit in a way. There's a lot of knowledge sharing that happens in these trips. You also create opportunities for future collaborations. Maybe they visit the country and then they meet other artists that they want to collaborate with, or maybe even start new projects from scratch. So there is a lot of music content generation that happens after gig swaps, and like we said, cultural exchange and knowledge sharing. It's like an amazing opportunity for
I love it. I really hope to see that happen within the next few years. I like that you called it a touring circuit.
Exactly.
But it's like continual. So it's not just a one-off.
Exactly. There's no point in doing it like one time.
Yeah, because things just die down and in a sense lose its value.
Yep.
And you want it to be as useful as possible to these bands in general, and actually build up momentum that way.
Exactly. Just to maximize the results and make the most out of these trips.
Love it. So gig swaps for Heavy Arabia Entertainment. We want to see it before
Soon.
2030.
Yep, definitely.
You were awarded with the Saudi Accelerator program. I'm not quite sure how it works and how you did it, but congratulations first of all.
Thank you. Yeah.
You had to go and pitch heavy metal to talk me through the process.
Yeah, so I know that a lot of people at first thought it was too ambitious.
Yeah.
When I was talking to them about, hey, can you go over my presentation? I trust your opinion. Are you sure you want to pitch a heavy metal project? I really trust my vision. I have the figures to back it up. So why not? So basically, back in January this year, 2025, I was reached out by a team from Plug and Play. And they were working for the General Entertainment Authority to invite SMEs, basically, to come and pitch any entertainment project that they believe in. It can be an existing project or something that, something new that you want to create. So they told me to come and pitch one project. It could be a record label, it could be a festival, it can be anything music related. And I put together this presentation of a music project that I will reveal later. And I went and presented for 5 minutes. And it oh my God, I remember there were people from the General Entertainment Authority, from Plug and Play, and some experts, like industry experts. So I was put on the spot. I didn't know what questions to expect. You know, they could be financial questions. You know, they could be anything. But I went there and I talked about the project, and they really saw potential, funding opportunities, mentorship opportunities. So it's been amazing, honestly. It's a game changer.
I've noticed there's a very supportive and collaborative environment here.
Yeah.
And in the industry as well, and actually supporting up and coming platforms like yourself. I love that. And I love that you stood there and you put yourself, in a sense, out of your comfort zone, because we all like to prep.
100%. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was so uncomfortable. I was sweating. You know, I'm like, I hope they understand this, you know. I mean, because, you know, the photos that I have, you know, of all the metalheads, oh my God, you know, like with long-haired, you know, men and corpse paint, you know, and people with piercings and stuff. So, like, I really hope they still see the meaning behind this.
It's
you know?
art. It's art. It's expression.
Yeah.
I've grown to really appreciate rock, heavy metal more, and I've realized how important it is to have a genre like that as well, because I'm very rap, hip hop, and actually there's some similarities in the, you know, the way we maneuver, and I love it. So I'm glad that there's an appetite for it, and we're seeing it become a thing here, like more than a thing.
People would travel to attend a boxing match, just like what we've been seeing now in Riyadh season, you know, all the boxing matches. I don't understand so much, you know, about boxing, but also like football matches. You see people traveling for the World Cup or to see their favorite league, you know, whatever. And it's the same with heavy metal fans. You know, there is huge spending power in the metal community. They would spend a lot of money on collectibles.
Wow.
They're always after these unique live experiences. They're ready to spend more just to support the artist. You know, if you come with the merch suitcase, you're probably leaving with that suitcase empty.
Well, it's a very prominent genre.
Exactly.
Worldwide.
You know, so they saw potential there that, you know, people will come there and spend money.
I'm excited to see what else is going to come. So heavy Metallica. Sorry, not heavy. I'm saying heavy. Now I'm just going to sit. And we might as well make them heavy Metallica. That's their new name.
Why not?
The Metallica documentary teamed up with Heavy Arabia. So you were able to create a documentary and have some of the local bands. How did this come about?
Yeah, so in December 2023, shortly after Metallica played Soundstorm, the studio that was recruited by the Metallica team reached out to Heavy Arabia, and they were asking if we can perhaps bring the community together and have them talk about their love for Metallica and how Metallica changed their lives, basically. So I reached out to a couple of bands that were influenced by Metallica in any way, and you know, have them do an exclusive show at the Saudi Music Hub, which also shows you how amazing our Ministry of Culture is. They were kind enough to give us their stage to do this show and facilitate the shooting of the documentary. And we had also a couple of fans come in and share their stories about how they started listening to Metallica, what their experience was seeing Metallica for the first time ever in Saudi. And I think now it's going live this year. I'm not sure when exactly, but so it supports our vision, basically, where we want to put Saudi on the global map. We want the world to see that there is a fan base for this type of music.
What was it like to see Sierra, Dune, Moja have their moment in the Metallica documentary?
It was so cool, Laughta. I mean, this is exactly why I do what I do. Absolutely. I mean, I have moments where I really want to quit. Like, I kid you not. But then when I see bands, show their pride, show their appreciation, it just reminds me of why I'm doing this. And it was so awesome, honestly.
We don't want to hear you want to quit. You're such a key part to the scene here, but, and without your face, it would not be the same.
I mean, it's an integral part of any entrepreneur's journey. You have your moments,
absolutely,
where you're just like, why am I even doing this? Why bother?
It's tiring sometimes.
It is tiring, but when you see moments like the Metallica documentary, you know, or when I see our fans, you know, cry when they saw Wolfheart or when they saw Kiko, you know, all the hugs, you know, all the story, you know, they tell them their stories, and, you know, when they take photos with them, when they have their merch signed, you know, I'm like, this, yes, exactly. Now I know why, you know.
So the power of music is beautiful. It really brings people together. And I think, like you said, entrepreneurs, everyone has those moments of wanting to give up and having those down periods. But it's important to have a support system, allies, you know, within the industry. I know Nadia Khan, you know, works in a similar field to you in the sense of management, and she's working with Sierra. And I feel like working together, being united is the best way forward in this industry,
100%.
because you're putting yourself forward at the forefront, and you're building something from scratch in a sense, because it's new to this environment, right? It's not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy. Exactly. I mean, we're all trying to build, or, you know, we're building a road and we're really trying to drive on it. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. There's a question I was just thinking about on the way here to this interview. I wanted to talk to you about the genre itself, heavy metal. Does it have to be mainstream to be successful, or can it just function underground?
You can definitely function underground. So it's all, it depends on the vision of the band. I know that some people, you know, they don't like it when a band gets signed to a major label, you know, because then they lose hope in the band staying authentic and original. But that's not always the case. Yes, there are instances where a band maybe unintentionally becomes mainstream, but we cannot generalize this and say it's, you know, it's true for everyone who will eventually get signed to a major label. But yeah, like we do have these stereotypes about certain bands becoming mainstream and stuff. Oh,
and I actually never knew that. So is it more respected in a sense if you're doing it independently as a band?
I think it is a thing, especially in the, you know, in the metal community,
Right.
Yeah.
If you could book any band, dead or alive here in Saudi Arabia, who would that be?
Interesting. So maybe I'm going to give an example that I know the big player could book, because I'm going to keep the ones that I really want to book. Okay. Because I have data backing this up. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to keep this to myself. Okay. But let's say one of the top, like, big four. Okay. Big four. Okay, let's say Megadeth.
Okay, Megadeth. You mentioned them earlier as well.
Yeah, I'm just going to give like a safe answer.
Oh, so we're not getting the real deal.
Yeah. I'm not going to give tips. The tips are for money.
Oh, one of those ones. Okay, so you've got an idea. Is that something you're planning to do then? What's next for Heavy Arabia? You're planning to bring over bigger bands?
So bigger bands in our case definitely are not one of the big four. They're not one of the big four. They're still medium-sized bands. But that's definitely a plan, but I don't see it happening before 2028 maybe. Okay. Because we do have a 5-year plan, of course, and we have like expansion plan, but yeah, definitely like little by little. We started with Wolfheart, which is a decent-sized band. Yeah. We can start looking into bigger bands, and you know, when I was in Norway, I was already talking with a couple of booking agents about certain bands where we have actual database showing that, you know, there's fan base for that. We have data from Chartmetric and sound charts, and also we have our primary information from the landing page.
Wow. Can I get a +1 invite when you put on the event?
You have +100.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yes.
I'd love to come. I'm intrigued.
Bring your gang.
You're going to be doing some amazing events and more. So Inshallah. You're a manager as well, because you manage Dusk.
Correct.
How's that been going? Because he did his tour.
Yeah.
Regional tour.
Correct.
That's a moment in itself.
So Dusk is a modern metal, a prog metal band. It's a one-man band, but he has his also session players. So Dusk, you know, surprisingly, he plays the type of genre that I'm not necessarily into.
Oh.
I'm not into modern metal or prog. I like a little bit of prog, but what really caught my attention in Dusk is the music making machine.
Oh.
He made, like, that guy writes at least 8 songs a week, you know, and he's crazy. He's amazing, like crazy in a good way. Hardworking. He also likes to help other bands. He produces other bands, so he's not just an artist, but he's also a producer. He plays also in another band as a session player. But Dusk, when he released his first full-length album, Spectrums, he wanted to tour. So it made sense for us to first have him tour regionally. So we booked a couple of gigs in Saudi, and Bahrain, and in Dubai and Qatar. And he also played his first Asian tour just last February in India at Bangalore Open Air.
Wow.
Pre-party, yeah. It was awesome. And now we're planning his European tour. Hopefully this year or spring 2026.
Wow, you are busy.
Yeah.
You've got your hands in multiple parts.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump into a quick game of
Cool.
It's called Spill the
like
Tea.
it.
It's just quick fire questions.
Nice. Let's do it.
Don't give it too much thought.
Okay.
Whatever comes to mind first.
Cool.
Right, let's do this. Martasim, are you ready? First metal song you ever loved?
Dismantling Devotion.
Ooh. More important on stage, killer riffs or stage presence?
Stage presence.
Guitar you'd grab in a fire?
My Jackson.
Oh. Yeah. If you could host a gig anywhere in the world, where would that be?
Finland, for sure.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Who's a Saudi artist more people need to know about?
Saudi artist. Dusk.
Favorite food?
Pasta.
Yeah.
I love pasta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guitar or drums?
Guitar.
Texts or phone calls?
Oh my God, phone calls.
Do you know what? I think you've done this the quickest ever. So, Martasim, we need the biggest cheer and biggest round of applause ever. And maybe like ding, 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 like a KO sound as well. That was incredible.
I love phone calls. They're quick.
Yeah, snappy.
Yeah.
Like, just get straight to the point. I'm not a big messaging fan. I like to just get things done as quick as possible.
Yeah.
However, these days I am missing calls. I'm finding myself missing calls, and I don't like to miss calls.
Yeah.
My phone's on silent, I'm recording, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that I don't like about text messages is that most people just text you, hi, Gigi, how are you?
Oh, yeah, that.
And that's it. I'm like, so this is not important. You know?
Or you want something.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, it just doesn't tell me anything. You know, normally when I text people, I'm like, hi, how are you? Hope you're doing well. I'm not even waiting for them to say I'm good. I know they're good. Hopefully they're good.
Yeah.
And this is what I need from you.
Clear
Very
communication.
Quick. Yes, because I know they're busy too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I do find those kind of messages a bit random, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't really message someone saying, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Without any context. I would, even if you just want to catch up, say, I'd love to catch up with you. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Great. But just hello, how are you? It's like,
It's not important.
What went through your mind in that moment?
Yeah.
Were you just chilling and just remembered me? Fair play.
Exactly.
It's nice. It's nice that people are thinking about you. But
Yeah.
what's the context behind it?
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. I love how this went off topic, but on topic.
On topic, definitely.
So there's something I'm really passionate about as an artist. And that's the idea of community building and supporting one another in the industry, bringing people together, not dimming anyone's light, but amplifying the light around us.
100%.
So I have artist baton. This is where I pass the baton on to another artist that we want to be seated here having this one-on-one chat like we just did. Is there a particular artist that you would like to pass your baton to?
So I have this very amazing and hilarious dancer called Nof. And I met her at Hunna's last gathering. It was Suhoor.
Okay.
We got to know each other, and she's very talented. She cares about supporting other dancers. And I think she really deserves a spot in your show.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I just can't remember the name.
Yeah.
She danced at Marwas, or no? Maybe I'm thinking of another person.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll check out. But if it is her, she's amazing.
I love Naf.
Yeah, and Naf is probably amazing as well if it's a different person. So thank you so much. We love it coming from you, Gigi Arabia, and having you seated here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all your gems and your positive energy.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Laughta. I could say the same thing about you.
Oh, that's lovely. And we're here for the outfit. So any styling tips you have, any hair tips you have, feel free. Like, I'm not offended. I'm not that type of person.
You always look amazing.
Thank you.
10 out of 10.
No, so
always.
do you. Every time you step in the room, I'm like, here comes the princess of the princess. Like,
I mean, you know what, Laughta? If we have a minute to say something,
please go.
Yeah. So when it comes to outfits,
yes,
I was thinking about this even flying back to Riyadh.
Yeah.
It's always good to take that extra mile in whatever you do, because you never know who you meet on the way. Always dress more than you should, and always say, okay, you should say the right thing, but always make sure that you're doing not just enough, but more than enough. Because you're never going to be able to do 100%. I can aim for 110, but I'll still get 95, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Yeah, because I know that some people are like, no, it's just, whatever, let's do it, just, let's see how it goes. I'm like, no, but you need to have some type of benchmark or goal. Because you'll always underachieve, but always aim higher so that whatever result you get, it's still good.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
First of all, this is why I love doing this show. Yeah. And things like this that were never even in the plan of discussion that are so key. Mm-hmm. You need to show up for yourself.
Exactly.
No one is showing up for you.
No one.
No one cares. Mm-hmm. If you want to come half-heartedly, expect a slab of food that looks like you're not going to be happy with the results.
Exactly.
But you're right. If you raise the bar, you aim high, you might not completely get there. But you're going to show up.
You most likely won't. Yeah. But you'll still get good results.
You'll get good. You have to present yourself in a way that's true to you. Yeah. Of course. But, make an effort is what we're saying here. Yeah. And that's something you always do. That's something I do. Yeah. I love to get ready if I'm going into particular situations. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show up as Laughta and bigger than Laughta. And, I'm not going to come in my pajamas. Yeah. I mean, maybe one day I will. You never know. As long as I own it. Yeah, I'll pull up in my pajamas and own it and make it look good.
Exactly. And you know what? It reminds me of this one quote. Yeah. And I honestly don't know exactly who said it, but I have it in my journal. And it says, casual leads to casualty. So never be too casual, in certain settings, because you'll probably get even mediocre results. It also depends on certain settings and situations. But still, you have to give it your 100%. Not just be too casual about approaching things or delivering work.
My dad, just to end this off, he was, God bless his soul, Allah yarhamu. He was dressed from top to bottom in perfection. And he presented himself highly. His clothes were ironed. Yeah. I still need to iron like he used to. And he'd go, and wherever he went, he just, oozed in this. He gave out this feeling everyone was drawn to him and wanted to speak to him, respected him.
There you go.
And it's all about, it's okay, there's this whole point of like dressing nice and being mean to others or looking down on others. No, it's about holding yourself and being respectful and kind to other people. And that's something he did. And it just gets you a good type of respect. You want people to see you, respect you, speak to you, hold you highly, and you
want to work with you.
And
you know what? You're a perfect example for that.
Yeah.
You followed your father's example, and now you came to Saudi all the way from the UK to spotlight, individual talents, to spotlight music business professionals. So you're doing the exact same thing, and this is why everybody wants to be on your show. Yeah, Laughta.
Oh, that means so much, honestly. Thank you so much, and thank you for all your gems and having you here. And thank you for tuning in to the Laughta Likes Show here on NBC. You can catch me here at the same time, same place, with a new face, where we continue to deep dive into the minds of the creatives shaping the future of music. My name is Laughta. You already know the vibes. Here's Laughta. Big hair, long hair.